it is okay, or they can struggle and suffer here on earth. Tell them they must not mind to struggle and suffer here on earth, because in heaven they will walk on the street of gold.
King Leopold II of Belgium was a sole owner of Congo Free State, currently known as DRC Congo. King Leopold led Congo in a brutal way. He made Congolese or Africans as slaves, taking away the wealth of Congo like ivory and rubber. He made Congolese or Africans, the black people of Congo, suffer in his hands. King Leopold II was using the church to strategize his movement. Today, I'm going to react on this African pastor who he is saying how churches nowadays are being used, or pulpits are being used to brainwash the blacks. Let's listen, then we come back and say something.
Letter by King Leopold II. And he said, make these black people, tell them, hurry, it is difficult for a rich man to go to heaven. It is like a camel going through a needle's eye. And that's what you must indoctrinate them with. Indoctrinate them. Tell them it is okay, or they can struggle and suffer here on earth. Tell them they must not mind to struggle and suffer here on earth, because in heaven they will walk on the street of gold. Tell them that the gold which is here on earth is worthless. I'm saying this to open your mind for the damage that is in the mind of the black person was crafted, it was designed from the church pulpit. And that is why I also use the church pulpit to address and reverse the damage that is in the minds of black people. And everything what I'm going to say now, you can verify. You can go home and Google it, and you will verify it. I'm not talking something that is undocumented. I'm talking historical facts. I'm not talking fiction here. I'm talking historical facts. What was the role of the Christian church in the destruction, enslavement, exploitation, and marginalization of black people? Pope Nicholas V, a Roman Catholic Church Pope in the 14th century, is the one who said, I'm talking about the Pope, he gave permission that black people can be enslaved, made to be slaves. And the justification he gave was that black people are at the level of animals. They do not have a soul. So he gave authorization for the enslavement, exploitation, lynching, raping, and destruction of black people. That's when it started by Pope Nicholas V. Where did it come from? It came from a church. The strongest church in the world at that time being the Roman Catholic Church. A white pope said you are an animal. I'm talking about your ancestors. It started in the church. Secondly, King Leopold II. Now, you can go and Google the letter of King Leopold II. King Leopold II sent missionaries. Missionaries to the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, as it is known today. What were they going to do there? They were going to inflict damage in the minds of people. And what he said was that don't teach these people about God, they already know God. Don't teach these people about right and wrong, they already know the difference between right and wrong. And just said, give them the Bible in such a way that they take the Bible so seriously that they forget about themselves.
Wow. You have heard this pastor, what he have said. I don't like reacting on issues concerning churches because I believe a lot of people are watching me, and most of them are Christians, Muslims, and believers, and so. But in the West Africa, like Congo region, Christianity was being introduced in 14th centuries. That's like 1509. According to what is written, the Pope of that time was the one who gave authority, or who gave a lead that Africans should be used as slaves. When King Leopold became a sole owner of Congo, that's where a lot of Christianity, or a lot of Christianity was practiced, like was practiced in Congo. There is a letter that is believed it was written to the fathers of that time. There is a letter that is believed it was written by King Leopold of how the Christian ministers and reverend will teach the Africans. Now, if you haven't read the letter of King Leopold to the ministers, you can read. It's on Google. But I'm going to read to you just a few lines to verify if it's true the church was being used to brainwash, to marginalize, to put Africans in slavery. Now, this is the letter of King Leopold. Letter from King Leopold II of Belgium to colonial missionaries. 1883. Reverend fathers and dear compatriots, the task that is given to fulfill is very delicate and requires much tact. You will go certainly to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interest. Your principal objective is our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggers to know God. This they know already. That means Africans we already knew that there is God. We already knew God. They speak and submit to a Mungu, one Zambi, one Zakomba, and what else I don't know. They know that to kill, to sleep with someone's else wife, to lie, and to insult is bad. Have courage to admit it. You are not going to teach them. You are not going to teach them what they know already. Your essential role is to facilitate the task of administrators and industrialize, which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way it will be the best to protect your interest in that part of the world. For these things, you have to keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the richness that is plenty. That means gold and everything. Your knowledge of the gospel will allow you to find text ordering and encouraging your followers to love poverty. Like, happier are the poor because they will inherit the heaven. And it's very difficult to the rich people to enter the kingdom of God. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives courage to affront us. I make reference to their mystic system and their war fetish, welfare protection which they pretend not to want to abandon. And you must do everything in your power to make it disappear. Your action will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priest is contradictory to their parents' teaching. The children have to learn to obey what the missionary recommends, who is the father of their soul. You must singularly insist of their total submission and obedience. Avoid developing the spirit in the schools. Teach students to read and not to reason. Their dear patriots are some of the principles that you must apply. You will find many other books which will be given to you at the end of the conference. Evangelize the niggers so that they will stay forever in submission to the white colonists, so they never revolt against the Restians they are undergoing. Recite every day, happy are those who are weeping because the kingdom of God is them. Now, this is page 1. The letter has 3 pages. When you Google, you will read most of the pages, 3 pages about this letter from King Leopold to the Africans or missionaries, colonial missionaries, of what they should teach Africans. That sometimes it makes me question the serenity and the accountability of the role that churches play in Africa. Because if Africans already knew there is God, already knew we have Zambe, already knew we have Mungu, already we knew we have God, but yet too, the colonials or the colonies or the missionaries came with a deal to follow now their God, to leave our God and follow their God. Because in that way, it was to make us Africans respect their ways and to believe they are right and we are wrong. According to King Leopold letter, King Leopold knew that Africans already knew the bad and good. Let me tell you, before the missionaries came to Africa, Africans knew bad and good, and that is it. If you know this is bad and this is good. Now, King Leopold knew we know that. He knew we have our ways of praising God. Now, he came to make sure that we don't follow that ways and we follow the ways that he was telling us. Now, according to that day, the parents were teaching their children the better way of us Africans living. But schools were introduced and everything was introduced. Now, the regime, the Leopold regime and the colonial missionaries were not to teach the parents. Now they were teaching the children. So the children will start following this and disobey their parents. I'm trying to understand something. When you are telling me the poor are those who will see heaven, and it will be very hard for a rich man to see heaven, you have taught me to read, and I understand that, but not to reason. He knew that Congo is very rich because the underground was very rich. They had gold, ivory, rubber, everything. He make Africans think that living in misery, living in poverty is the way to see heaven. Now, Africans started following that. When you are slavery, you are going through a lot, you are being mistreated, you are being under murder, some of people are being murdered, rape, everything bad. That is the way to see God. Now, but the rich people, they have gold, they have money, they have everything, they won't see heaven. This paved way for the white people now to take all the resources because it's for the rich, and the black people were to obey. Now, what King Leopold II did to Congo, that came a lot of European colonizers started following and using the same strategy. The strategy was use the church to gain something, because they knew Africans respect God, they knew Africans respect this, but when you add these teachings, they will live this way and follow this way. I'm trying to understand. So you have heard the pastor from Congo, what he has said. Tell me what you think on the comment section. It's a very sensitive topic. I don't like speaking about this topic. It's very sensitive. But the question I always ask every day, when the missionaries were not in Africa in 15th or 14th century, did we Africans never knew about bad and good? Did we Africans never knew that we have God that gives us everything? Did we Africans never knew that killing someone is bad, or sleeping with someone's wife is bad, or doing stealing or doing this is bad? I don't know. I don't want to go deep, but if you find time, read King Leopold II letter, and we will reason together. But for the meantime, tell me what you think about this topic on the comment section, and write your comment down there. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe on my YouTube channel, and peace be with you every day.